restaurant to eat, right? Now you had a line where it was like the line was kind of long, but you had like we went there to get something to eat, right? So line long, kind of, you know what I mean, moving efficiently. I wouldn't say fast, but the line long is moving efficient. So naturally, we stopped to get something to eat, and I'm thinking this is nothing. There's at this point nothing going on, nothing happening, nothing is crazy. I'm going to get something to eat. I order something to eat. Now they ask you, do you want your food? Well, they didn't. Matter of fact, they didn't even ask you. I don't even think they asked you. But we order the food, right? Now, they give us a bag. We go sit at the table. Mind you, this little what do you call it? Dining area. This little dining area empty, bro. There's nobody in there. So, me and my girl go sit down and eat the food, right? So, a guy comes around, the waiter. He tapped me on the shoulder like this. Like, you know how you do he said, hey, you gotta get up. Guys, I've grown in patience, but I always been, for the most part, a humble person. It's only one time that I really got mad at a person in the words that I said. Well, I ain't gonna say one time, but I'm saying just in general, as far as a random stranger. You know how they say first impressions, last impression. You know what I mean? So it's like one time where I didn't know the guy, and I feel like what I said to him was not humble, and I feel like I shouldn't have talked to him in that manner, from his perspective. But to my defense, I was just trying to take up for somebody that was with me, my cousin. You know what I mean? He had left his ID home, and the dude wouldn't let us in. And I was like, man, just hey, man, like, I slid my cousin my ID. Mind you, this is not college, bro. We like 25, 26. Damn, you know what I mean? This is not like young. This is local. Everybody know me, hometown. Like, cousin trying to take my cousin out to see the city. He left his ID. I tried to pass him back my ID. It didn't scan. The guy was like, hey, y'all got to go. I said, man, we can't work something out. So basically I was trying to, get in the club. You know what I mean? And he didn't. And I kind of got mad and said a few things, as I was walking off. I wasn't yelling, or I don't get in people's face like that. You know what I mean? But I do stand on business when it's time to stand on business. So basically, let's go back. We at the airport. I think we had to be in Newark, New Jersey on a layover. I think that's where we were at, in Jersey. And the guy come tap me on the shoulder. Gotta get up. Can't sit there. I straight up ignore him. They don't even get no reaction from me. You like, if you're not gonna talk to me as a human, you're not gonna treat me like a human, I'm really like, you know what I mean? I'm gonna at least make you give the effort to talk to me as a human. Greet me, hey sir, or you ain't gotta say that, what's up, or you ain't gotta say that. You can just say excuse me. You know what I mean? I'm not big on having to try to have polite manners. Main thing is just, I gotta look you in your eyes and see that you're actually dealing with me and not at me. But anyways, he said you can't sit here. I ignore him. Mind you, these is huge airports, bro. We walking around carrying luggage. My girl got bags, probably got a coat. You know how ladies tend to overly pack a little bit. But we walking through this long airport. We really not nowhere near our terminal. So really, if we was to go eat, we're not really going to eat at the terminal. You see what I'm saying? We gotta eat and sit somewhere random, watch our luggage, then go all the way to our terminal where we flying out of. Now, mind you, most of the places in the airport is like, it's about efficiency. So if it's a dining area, it's usually attached to either a bar or a restaurant. You know what I'm saying? So for whatever reason, dude tell me like, you gotta get up. Now, when I go on vacation, bro, if you don't know, especially at that time, I got on probably a gold necklace, Versace shades. Like, people probably think I'm a rapper or something like that, which I'm not. But, you know, that's just vacation. You know what I mean? I like Versace shades. And so really, we get in there and he come back. Sir, you gotta get up. You can't sit here. And I was like, why? And he was like, because he said, because only customers sit here. I said, I just bought food. I'm waiting on my food. By this time, he don't even know. I you know how you could be petty, but I wasn't trying to be petty Winslow that day. But I think that he thought we had just came to sit down, now that I think about it, because the food hadn't got there yet. And so that's why I ignored him, because I feel like he thought we just came to sit. And so he was like, you can't sit here. I was like, why not? He was like, only for customers. I was like, we just ordered food. He was like, what? You know, not what. He was like, yeah, but you didn't order it to go. Only people who, no, he said no, but you ordered it to go. You didn't order the food for here. I said, well, how would you know? How do you even know? And so I'm like, I'm really kind of irritated at this point. My girl, she know what's up. She not getting up, because if I'm standing on business, you standing on business. Like, we paying here, and nobody else, mind you, nobody else is in this eating area. Nobody else. And this wasn't a race thing, because this dude was another black person. So there ain't no race card involved here. This just pure, I don't know, misunderstanding at the least. You know what I'm saying? Prejudice. Yes, he was prejudiced. But anyways, he was like, you gotta go. You didn't order your food for here. You ordered it to go. I was like, and I patronized the restaurant. Like, I paid for my food, and I'm sitting here waiting for my food to get done. There's nobody else in this dining area, and you're worried about me sitting down. Like, you don't own this place. You know what I'm saying? And so I just told him, look, man, let me talk to your manager, because you can't tell me nothing. So he went and got the manager, and I think the manager was like, yeah, we want you to get up, because we preserve the dining area for people who order their food for here. I said, look, man, if y'all worried about a tip, you gonna get a tip, bro. I'm not gonna be cheap. I understand if you trying to get your money, because me, I'm never about stopping somebody's money. I understand if you trying to get your money. You know what I'm saying? I get that. So the manager tell me leave. I said no. I said, as soon as I get done eating my food, I'm gonna leave, because there's no sign nowhere in here that says dine in only for tables only for people dining in. There's no sign that says this. The only difference between me and the people that's dining in is that when I bought my food, y'all gave me a bag with it. That's literally the only difference. Considering the fact that I'm gonna tip. You see what I'm saying? Now, if I wasn't tipping, I get it. He losing money. But at this point, there's nobody else sitting there. So I'm sitting there, we eating our food. I'm not hearing it from the manager. I'm not hearing it from the guy. I'm like, no, I'm good. I'm gonna eat. I think I'm gonna eat. And so we sat down and we ate. And he kept coming back. Now by this time, it's kind of starting to look a little bad on my part because a few people showed up and started eating. And now it's like a fraction of the way full. Then it's like halfway full. Then it's like now there's no tables. You know what I'm saying? So by this time when the manager and everybody is coming over there, now they clocking me like I'm supposed to have a set amount of time to eat. Now mind you, in a restaurant they try to do the same thing. When they come over there, they don't want people sitting there all day. But at the same time, there's no laws against a time limit to sit. Now, if you're at a buffet and you just keep eating, I get it. You being greedy. No part of me was being greedy. No part of me was being disrespectful. No part of me broke any of the rules that were written and explained beforehand. A part of me did not fall into their norms, which is in how they normally operate. But if y'all know me, y'all know this. Norms are not laws. And sometimes we go around in life trying to please everybody, and you really put yourself at a discomfort. I done paid a lot of money for these plane tickets. We going on a vacation out of this country. We going around with these bags. You know what I'm saying? I've never had nothing stole from me anywhere, but me sitting in this area, you know, it's a safe area. I don't have to worry about like germs and stuff and food falling on the floor. I can sit down and eat my food. You know what I'm saying? And so this is the petty part about it. This is what I'm talking about when I say I almost got arrested. Okay. So we come. We still, I'm standing on business, bro. I'm sitting down eating. Let me calm down. You're not going to touch me. That's what you're not going to do. You definitely not finna touch my girl. That's what you not going to do. You see we paid. You see we ate. Y'all failed to explain the rules and then wanted me to abide by them just because that's how you felt. Nah, I don't work like that, bro. So it ain't like an old lady needed a chair. It's not like ladies needed a chair. Like stuff was empty. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not by myself. If it was just me, I would have just stepped to the side and ate standing up. You know what I'm saying? But it's like you got to be a gentleman. Even when people trying to be jerks, you got to be a gentleman. You know what I'm saying? This is part of providing and leading and protecting as a man. You feel what I'm saying? You can't just let anybody run over you anywhere. So anyways, at least this what I'm thinking. Right or wrong, y'all tell me, chat. Chat, was I wrong, chat? Chat, should I have got up, chat? Huh? Shit, let me see. I'm good, chat. I'm good. I'm good, chat. But so mind you, the dude come back. He switched his whole demeanor and got nice. I say finally he get it, bro. He don't like I'm finna leave in a minute, but I'm finna finish my food. I paid for the food. Y'all didn't tell me that only people who eat in the end can sit at the dining table. So I'm like, okay, he understand. He trip. I'm giving you a tip. You know, I'm gonna go about my business. The only difference is, bro, 10 more minutes. He said, oh no, you good. Stay. No, you good. Stay. I'm like, all right, cool. Now, I'm not petty to where I'm gonna take up y'all time. Once I get done eating, once my lady get done eating, I'm moving around. So that's exactly what happened. We got done eating. You know what I'm saying? I left him a tip, gave him a tip, moved around. Guess what? Guess what? As soon as I walked up the terminal toward my next location, I had to get out and like walk to my left. You know what I'm saying? And as soon as we got up and started walking, probably 25 yards down the way, 4 airport police officers heading their way. And I told my girl, I was like, you know why he got nice at the end all of a sudden, right? She was like, why? I said, because he called the police. Come on, man. He called the police. He called the police. He called the police. I need to start a poll. How do I do a poll, man? Let me just put it in the chat. Chat, should I have got up initially? Should I have just moved when he tapped me on the shoulder? Should I have just gotten up when he first asked? Huh? Chat, should I have just gotten up when he first asked? Let me know, man. Let me know in the chat. I'm gonna pin that comment. Let me pin that comment. Chat, should I have gotten up when he first asked? Because my thing is, why do you have the same type of energy? And this is my thing, bro. I understand people go through things, but you coming to work, and everybody in life is going through something, bro. But you're coming to work in a service industry, and you have animosity or a lack of patience. You chose that profession. You chose that profession. You chose that profession. I didn't choose that profession. I'm paying my money. I'm eating my food. I'm sitting at an empty place. The fact that you became nice when you was about to do something that you thought was gonna harm me is what's petty. You was on demon time, and you didn't even say, "Don't worry about it. I'm gonna call the police or I'm gonna alert the authorities." Nah, you made it a silent alarm like it was a bank heist or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. Come on, man. And that is exactly why, when it comes to choosing a career, choosing a path in life, first off, I think people need to get this. This is what I think people need to understand, chat. People need to understand that everybody does not think the same, and everybody's not wired the same. So your course of action may not necessarily be my course of action. And just because we have different courses of action doesn't mean that one is wrong and the other is right. Sometimes it's just about the fit, the FIT, the fit. I learned that when I learned that as far as NFL training, combine training. You got so many people that could run 40 yard dashes in a 4.5, 4.5, 4.4. You know what I'm saying? So many people. And then you got a bunch of strong people. You got a bunch of tall people. You got, freakish athletes, bro. And the teams have to choose the person whose style and his gameplay and his mentality and his character. He has to choose people who they fit. See what I'm saying? There's a difference between qualified and fitting. Some people are qualified, but they don't fit. Some people may fit, and may not be as qualified, but because they are a good fit, then people work them in and willing to train them and willing to work with them and willing to, you know what I mean? And so that's the time that I almost got locked up, bro. I almost got locked up. So the main thing is this. What is the moral of the story? What is the takeaway from this? Man, sometimes when you standing on principles and you standing on things that you believe, you won't know ever if you was right or wrong. You know what I'm saying? You won't know ever if you was right or wrong. But thank God for protecting me, because it's a whole different thing when a police officer asks you to get up than when a waiter. When it's a totally different thing when a police officer comes and asks you to get up, assuming that's what he was gonna say. Then now they might have been cool police officers and been like, "Hey, this customer is a paying customer. We can agree that once he finishes his food, he's gonna leave." So, but we don't know. We might never know. There's a difference between officers coming to ask me to move when the restaurant is full and I'm the only one on the table with a to-go bag. You know what I'm saying? That's a totally different scenario than when I first sat down where nobody was in there. And I just ordered my food and we was the only people sitting there. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is my first time in there. I don't even think I've been in there since. But I don't know this stuff. You know what I'm saying? And I wasn't finna let the waiter tell me that his energy was wrong. But what do y'all think about him not alerting me? You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm an open-minded person. Maybe, just maybe, he knew that a rush was coming and he was just trying to get all the seats empty so that when the rush came, that he maximized his tips. Okay, I get that. Maybe that's the argument he had with the manager. Maybe that's why he wouldn't got the manager, and maybe that's why the manager told me to get up too, because maybe he struggling with something. Maybe he trying to fight to hold on to his job, and maybe he done got into it with the manager about not making enough money because there's too many people that's sitting down and eating to go and they not paying. And so they want him to come to work for crumbs. All this could be hypothetically a scenario. But is that my problem? No. Make the sign. Make the sign. All you had to do is put a little if he would have on everything. If they would have pointed to a sign that said that, I would have got up. And then I would have been like, well, why y'all didn't tell me that, before? But I would have just took the L. But it wasn't no sign, you know what I'm saying? And that's why I say I'm open-minded, bro. I'm not ignorant. I'm not closed-minded. I understand he trying to get his money, which is why, if y'all remember, I told him, bro, if it's If it's a tip you worried about, I got you. I'll get you a tip. Oh, he act like they got him mad. He act like they got him more mad. And needless to say, I say that to say this. Sometimes when you stand up on business and you standing on values and you standing on morals and you make a decision and you don't actually understand whether you're 100% right or not based on how the rules is, because it's a gray area, or based on how people treat you because you ain't trusting them to be 100% honest and humble, sometimes that's when God look out for you. You know, God looked out for me. He made it to where I just got done eating. Just 2.5 minutes. I say maybe 5 minutes. If I would have been there 5 minutes later, those police would have met me at the restaurant. But like I said, true to my word, when I get done eating, we gonna get up. And we did just that. And I think I remember going back. No, I ain't gonna say that. But that's why there's a certain, I'm not saying this couldn't happen in the South, but there's a certain thing called Southern hospitality. And you ain't never heard, I ain't gonna say that. I'm just saying we wasn't in the South. And it ain't got nothing to do with the location. I ain't knocking the South, the East. I ain't knocking nobody. We all united. You know what I'm saying? But I will say this. He didn't handle that the smartest way. He handled it in a way he knew he could get what he wanted. But what he wanted as far as his ego and his pride. But he didn't handle it in a way that he could get what he wanted as far as his career and his pockets.